Hi, boys and girls. My name is Miss Jennifer, and I'm a teaching artist in the PACE Art program. I'm here today to do an art lesson with you. I am so glad that you could join me. Today we'll be doing a social studies based art lesson. For this lesson, we will be talking about Louisiana lifestyles, Louisiana culture, and some of the Louisiana symbols. We will learn about the Fleur de Lis, which is our state symbol, and how to create it. We will learn what each of these mean and why they are so important to us. The supplies that you will need today will be 2 sheets of white paper, a variety of crayons, and some markers. We will be using lines, shapes, and colors for our lesson. We will be using a black marker to draw, and we're going to use our crayons and markers to color in our images today. We will be drawing a picture of a fleur de lis, and we'll be adding things onto the inside of the fleur de lis that are things that are important to us in Louisiana. So, boys and girls, as I said, we're going to be talking about Louisiana lifestyles, Louisiana culture, and Louisiana symbols. The main symbol that we're going to be talking about today is this symbol. Does anybody have an idea what this symbol might be? Why don't you share it with a friend? Tell your friend if you know what this symbol is called. I heard it. I heard Fleur de Lis. Well, Fleur de Lis is our state symbol. And as you know, we live in the state of Louisiana. So Louisiana's state symbol is the Fleur de Lis. You will see here that on our flag in Louisiana, we see 3 Fleur de Lis on the flag. Now let's look down here. Where do we see the Fleur de Lis? You're right, on a saint's helmet. So our Fleur de Lis is also on a saint's helmet. And if we go down here, what do we see inside of this Fleur de Lis? A tiger. Good job. Do you have any idea what this tiger might be a symbol of in Louisiana? If you said LSU, you were right. So the LSU tiger. Good job. And here I have another Fleur de Lis. And we really have to look at this one for its colors. Well, I see yellow, I see some green, and I see some purple. What colors do you think those are a part of in Louisiana? If you said Mardi Gras, good job. So our Fleur de Lis is found throughout Louisiana. You will find our Fleur de Lis on bags, on candles. You will see it pretty much everywhere. So this is the symbol of our state. And we're going to be talking about the Fleur de Lis today, and we're going to talk about how the Fleur de Lis was first drawn, or how it was sort of discovered in our lesson today. All right, so the next thing that we're going to talk about today, boys and girls, now that we've talked about our Louisiana symbol being the Fleur de Lis, we are going to be talking about lifestyle, Louisiana lifestyle. Louisiana is a very rich state, and what that means is that there are people from all over the world that come to Louisiana to both visit and to live, which means that we start to have a mix of people from around the world here in Louisiana. That makes our Louisiana culture very, very rich. And so there are a couple of things in Louisiana's lifestyles that we all know about. And the very first one is food. Yes, as people of Louisiana, we love to eat. Good job. And we like to eat things like crawfish and boiled corn and crabs and gumbo and shrimp etouffee, and the list goes on and on. If you ask someone that is not from Louisiana, what is one thing that you like about Louisiana? And they will tell you the good food. So that is part of our lifestyle. We like to eat good food. Now, another part of our lifestyle is we like music. We have a lot of bands here in Louisiana. So this man is part of a zydeco band, and he is playing an accordion, which is an instrument that is played here in Louisiana. So we have lots of people who play instruments and sing here in bands. Now, we have here a picture of something that's really big here in Lafayette, Louisiana, where we live. This is Festival International de Louisiana, and you can see all of these people from across the world that come together for these festivals that we have in Louisiana. So if you take that good music and you take that good food and you put it together in a festival, you will have people come from all over the world. Now, saying that, we also have something else. So we go to festival, we hear music, and we like to dance. Now this is in the French Quarter in New Orleans, but we know that people from Louisiana and from other cultures and places love to dance. This is something that is really important to us. Now, this is something else that's really big here in Louisiana, and that is, well, tell your neighbor what you think this is. What celebration? Mardi Gras, good job. We have Mardi Gras, we have parades. For Mardi Gras, we have food like king cake. So we have a lot of things in Louisiana that basically mean that we have a really good time here in Louisiana. Now here's another one. We have swamplands, we have lots of marshes and water, and sometimes people just like to go out on the water, maybe fishing, maybe in a canoe. And so that is another lifestyle that we are well known for. Did you know that Louisiana has over 400 different festivals? That means all across Louisiana, there are over 400 festivals. Have you ever been to a festival before? Raise your hand if you've been to a festival. Good job. That's a lot of you. Awesome. So we have the Crawfish Festival. We have Festival International de Louisiana. We have the Creole Festival, the Zydeco Festival, Boudin Festival, Festival Acadiana. Can you think of another festival that you might have been to in Louisiana? Let's turn and tell our friend another festival that you might know about. Awesome. I heard Frog Festival, Rice Festival, Bogey Festival, Omelet Festival. There are so many festivals. The one thing that we know about people from Louisiana, they love to have fun. They love living life fully and deeply. They also enjoy life to its fullest. And so that is one thing that people from Louisiana love to do. And so now that takes us, we've now talked about lifestyle. We've talked about the symbol, and we've talked about culture. Now, the Louisiana culture, remember, is when people from different places come together and start to meet. In Louisiana, we have all of these different cultures. We have people who come from France and maybe Africa and lots of different places that come together and share our lifestyle here in Louisiana. So now I am ready to start drawing and talking about my Fleur de Lis. So let's go ahead and let's start getting ready. Let's get our 2 sheets of white paper. So I have one here and one here. I'll be drawing on this one and I'll be practicing on this one. So let's get our practice paper and let's put it on our desk, and then let's get our paper we're going to draw on and put it right off to the side. You might want to draw with your paper vertically, standing tall today, so that you have place to put a really big fleur de lis on your picture. So let's go ahead and get that now, and let's get our marker to start drawing. So here I am. I have my marker and I am ready to start drawing. We're going to be drawing on this paper that we have vertically in front of us, and we'll practice on this one. What we're going to be drawing today is our Fleur de Lis. We're going to make a very simple Fleur de Lis so that we could actually add things to the inside of our Fleur de Lis. If you look here, there are lots of different ways that Fleur de Lis can be made. They can be super fancy, just a simple Fleur de Lis, like we're making today. I also found a Fleur de Lis that's in the shape of a crawfish, and we know, we've already talked about, part of our lifestyle is eating, and crawfish, something that we love. So here is the shape of the Fleur de Lis with a crawfish. Down at the bottom, I have one here made of Mardi Gras beads. Maybe that's something that maybe somebody in your family could help you make a Fleur de Lis out of recycled Mardi Gras beads, using those beads over again. And here I have two pictures from artists here in Louisiana. And as you can see, inside of the Fleur de Lis, they added important things to Louisiana, like a blue crab, crawfish, football, Mardi Gras mask, our pelican, which is our state bird, music that we talked about. Here we have our swamp and shrimp and crawfish. We have an alligator, part of New Orleans. We have a light pole right here. And so as you can see, we're going to kind of pull some of those ideas into our Fleur de Lis today. Using my marker, I'm going to be starting at the top. So at the very top of your paper, I want you to put a dot. And notice that that dot is in the middle of your paper, right at the top. And then I want you to go down to the bottom and do the same thing. Just like this, right in the middle. So on the top and the bottom, we have two dots. Then I want you to come to about right here. This is about the middle. It's below the middle. And I want you to put a dot on this side and a dot on this side, trying to make sure that our dots line up across our paper. So we have one on the top, bottom, and sides. Good job. All right, and then I'm going to put one in the middle. Now notice something. I put it a little bit higher here in the middle. All right, I'm ready now. I'm going to start from the top first. And what I'm going to do is I want to make one long curve and then another long curve on the other side. Now, one thing that we're going to really focus on is trying to make it as wide as we can make it, because we're going to be drawing things inside of this shape. All right, so I'm going to start here and I'm going to make a curve and I'm going to stop about right there. So we can go ahead and practice doing that now on your paper, and then you can draw it on your good drawing paper. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, and I'm going to stop at about the same place. So you should have what looks like maybe the top of a raindrop on your paper. Good job. Now the next thing that we're going to do is from here to our dot, we're going to make a curved line, but this time our curved line is going to go this way. All right, so let's practice that, and then let's draw it. Start from the bottom of that curve to our dot. Good job. And now we're going to do the opposite. We're going to do it the other way. Practice it. Good job. And then now we're going to start from here and we're going to go down to our dot. So here we go. Started from here and we stopped at the dot. Awesome, boys and girls. Very good. Now, we're going to kind of skip from here and we're going to go down to this middle dot here. And for that middle dot, here's our dot, we want to make this shape. What shape is that, boys and girls? Our oval. Very good. And see, we want to make a really big oval right here where our dot is at. If you look at some of the Fleur de Lis, they have this little band, kind of like where they have Louisiana written right here, kind of just like a little section along the bottom, and so that's what we just made. And let's get fancy. Let's make some curved lines inside. Awesome. These are looking great, boys and girls. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to go down, start from here, around, and stop here. So here's what I had first, and now I'm doing the same thing, but I'm going a little bit lower on this side. And so watch me. I'm going to start from the dot, and I'm going to go right here, touching my oval. And now I want to do the same thing going the opposite way. You can practice it here first. Starting here, I'm going to go around and I'm going to stop about right there. I now have the top of my fleur de lis. Isn't that awesome? Alright, now we have to work on the bottom part of our fleur de lis, which is this part right here. And so, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a band right here so that we can kind of get the idea that this is kind of my fleur de lis. Alright, the next thing that we want to do is we want to make a curve going this way and a curve going that way. So watch me. A curve going this way and a curve going that way. So they're going in the opposite direction. Good job, boys and girls. All right, and then we're going to skip over and about right here, we're going to kind of put a letter. What letter is that, boys and girls? A letter U. Good job. So about right here, we're going to put a letter U. Awesome. Then we want to connect this dot to our letter U. So we're going to go the same thing. We're going to make a curve to here and a curve to here. And you can practice it first. So here we go, a curve to the U and a curve in the opposite way to the U. And we now have our fleur de lis. Good job. Your fleur de lis look great. Keep in mind that you want to make it a little big so that you can draw inside of it. Now, if you ended up drawing it about this size, guess what? You could flip your paper over and you could draw it again really large on the back. So, next thing that we're going to do is we're going to be drawing a crawfish. Ooh, bet that's going to be fun, Miss Jennifer. So watch this. Right on top here of our oval, we're going to make a curve going up and a curve going down. Sort of like an upside down V. That's the head of our crawfish, and that is right here. Awesome. And we're going to make a spiral. So look at that. So watch Miss Jennifer. I started at the bottom. I pretend to make a circle. I open it up, but I don't close it. And I'm going to make one spiral like that on one side, going up, around, and stop. And there's another one. And those are his antennas that are on his head. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make two curves for his eyes. And you know what? We can use our black marker and we can go ahead and we can color those in, because a crawfish actually has black on his eyes. You can see this one has a little white, and usually that's kind of just the reflection of the light. These are looking great, boys and girls. And now we're going to skip to the bottom. And what we're going to do at the bottom is we're going to do a curve and a curve. So watch this. Curve and a curve. And then we're going to make a nice wavy line. So remember our wavy line. And that is the bottom of his tail. Now if you want to put some little lines on your crawfish, you can do that. The next thing we're going to do are his pinchers. So watch Miss Jennifer. That's like drawing a rectangle, but don't close it. And then we're going to draw another straight line and another straight line. So it's almost like drawing two straight lines going diagonally and then two going up. And we'll do the same thing here. Two going out, two going up. And then we're going to make his pincher. And his pincher is simply going to be a curved line with the letter V on the inside. So, curved line, letter V on the inside, curved line, letter V on the inside, and there we have our crawfish. Good job, boys and girls. Now I want you to think about different things that you could add to the inside of your fleur de lis that is important to your family, whether it be a football, whether it be a cypress tree with a crawfish and an alligator, Mardi Gras beads. It's really up to you. Maybe it's something from one of the festivals that you went to. Maybe it could be an accordion that you draw. There's so many different things about Louisiana that we could actually add to our fleur de lis. So I'm going to go ahead and I want to add some Mardi Gras beads. And I'm simply going to just draw some circles, and notice how I'm touching my circles together, and you can sort of make them go around any way that you want, just so that they touch together. And that would be like Mardi Gras beads, just like here. You could make masks, you could make so many different things. I think I want to make some water with my wavy lines here at the bottom. And I'm going to go ahead and start coloring mine. But remember that you can add so many different things to your picture. Now, real quick, I want to show you that the fleur de lis actually started out with a lily flower. So if we look at this lily flower, now this is a Louisiana iris, but what the person that created the fleur de lis did is they took a picture and they traced around the petals. And you can see as you trace around, it starts to look like a fleur de lis. And so not every flower that was traced or drawn looked exactly like this, meaning that not all fleur de lis have to be the same. But the fleur de lis started out being a lily flower, and that's where the shape of our fleur de lis symbol came from. All right, so the next thing we are going to do is color. Now, Miss Jennifer probably will not have time to color the whole picture with you, and that is okay, because you're going to be able to go back and add things that you want to your fleur de lis as you color your picture. So, I'm going to start with my crawfish first and my red marker. And I think that I want to color in my crawfish with my red marker. So sometimes you could actually color with your markers. Other times you might want to trace with your marker, and you might want to color it in with your crayons. And so here is all of my crawfish. So you can keep drawing right now if you would want, or if you want to go ahead and stop for now and start coloring what you have, you can also do that too. It's really up to you. All right, and so here's my crawfish. Nice and red. Now, crawfish are red, but sometimes they're dirty, so they might have a little black or maybe some brown or a little bit of green on them, because they do live under the water where they can get a little dirty. And so there we go. There is my crawfish. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to work on the water. And so here is where I'm going to trace all of my water and around my fleur de lis. Oop, and Miss Jennifer went out the lines a little bit. And you know what? That's okay. Just go back and color it in with your marker or your color. And I'm going to trace the bottom of my fleur de lis just like this. And then, of course, I would take the time with my crayon to color in that area, just like this. All right, now, for my Mardi Gras beads, I know that purple, gold, and green are the colors of Mardi Gras. So if I were you, I would maybe color one, skip two, color one, skip two, color one, skip two. And that will help us to create a pattern. And so maybe we're going to do our purple, then we're going to skip two, purple, skip two, and purple. And then we'll do the same thing with the yellow or the gold. Here we go, skip two, color, skip two, and color. And there we go, a very easy way to make our Mardi Gras beads. All right, so the next thing that I want to do, and so I'm going to take a little bit of black, and I kind of want to color in with my marker some more little parts of my crawfish, because remember Miss Jennifer said that crawfish can be a little dirty. And I also, right here, because I have a little extra time, I want to make myself a football and maybe some grass. So here's my football. Now maybe there are other things that are more important to you about Louisiana that you would want to add to your picture. So remember, as you're coloring today, you can keep drawing more, coloring, and then drawing more. All right, and footballs are usually brown, so Miss Jennifer's going to color her football brown, just like this. There you go. Now, I just thought of something else. We love food. So maybe on this side, I could use my straight lines, maybe my curved line, and another curved line on top. And that could be my pot of gumbo. Straight lines, kind of a curve or an oval on the top, and there you go. And I could put some pieces of sausage, maybe a shrimp, maybe even I could put a spoon handle, and that could be the gumbo that I love to eat. And there you go. Maybe on the top I could draw a straight line and another straight line, connect them together like a rectangle. Good job. And maybe I could make a mask. And so I kind of needed a little bit more space on this side, but that's okay. I have my Mardi Gras mask. And so that is something that you could add to your Fleur de Lis. All right, so now what I think I want to do is I want to go ahead and I'm going to color in my pot of gumbo with a gray marker. And for those of you that don't have a gray marker, just use a gray crayon and that will work just fine. Maybe this is another good time where I could use my marker and I can maybe color in my soup with a little bit, or my gumbo actually. Well, guess what? But we also like soup too. So it could be soup or gumbo. And I could add some brown to the top with my marker or my crayon, and that could be the inside of my gumbo pot. And so there are so many different things that you could add to your picture. When you are finished with your Fleur de Lis, maybe you could even color around your Fleur de Lis with your crayons. Hey, guess what? If you want to be super creative, maybe you could even add some things to the outside of your Fleur de Lis. Today, we learned about Louisiana's lifestyles, Louisiana's cultures, and Louisiana symbols. We drew a Fleur de Lis and we filled it in with things that are important to us in Louisiana. If you have some extra time, you might want to go ahead and draw some things that are important to your family about Louisiana inside of your Fleur de Lis. I want you to make sure that you take some time to share your picture with your family and friends. Maybe you can even tell them what your picture is about. Until next time, keep making art.